Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety and depression. I talk about narcissism and my narcissistic mother. I talk about schizophrenia, and I wrote a book, Life with My Schizophrenic Father. I talk about my unethical psychologist who I've had sexual relationships with. And the links to all these books are down below in the description. They're all available to be purchased on Amazon. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I'm not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask of you is your kindness and respect in the comments, please. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button down below, the little box there that says subscribe. It's 100% free. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video of mine comes out. If you want to support my channel, please, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link to that is down below in the description as well, with all of my books. And I love to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts, your opinions, and your struggles too. They matter. I will always answer everyone who comments back. And if you would like, please feel free to share these videos with your friends and family on your social media platforms. Today I'm going to talk about liars. Why do people lie? And I just don't understand why people have to cover up things in lies. Why people have to always have them don the mask and make up atrocious things, or prevent people from really getting to know them. I've had people in my family, friends, lovers lie to me over and over again. And I just don't understand it, and it really hurts. It's a very deep betrayal when someone lies, because they're not telling you the whole truth about themselves. I remember from growing up, it was instilled in me to lie. My mother always said, never tell anyone I'm Puerto Rican, because that was on her side of the family. I don't know why. Why do I have to lie that I'm Puerto Rican? Why should I be ashamed of my nationality? I also grew up Italian. My father's side was Italian. And my mother always said, never tell them that you're from Sicily. If they ask what part of Italy your father's from, say Naples. What does it matter what part of Italy my father's family is from? They're from Sicily. But I was always confused growing up. And I always told people from Naples, because that's what my mother instilled in me, to lie about my nationality. I mean, lie about your sexuality. Never let them know if you like boys and you're a boy, or you like girls and you're a girl. You can never do that. Everyone is trying to, put people in this friggin' box, and everyone has to be the same as everyone else, and no one can dare be different. And this is what really aggravates the friggin' hell out of me. That's why, but people lie too, over things, trying to make people feel sorry for them. Like my cousin. You won't believe my cousin, okay? He grew up like my brother. He grew up in the upstairs apartment. I've talked about this. I wrote about it in my books. We live in a 2-family house, and he lived upstairs with his father and wicked stepmother and stepsisters. And I lived downstairs with my parents. I was an only child, and he was like 8 years older than me, so he was like an older brother. My cousin was the biggest liar on earth. First of all, he lied and told everyone he had cancer to gander people's sympathy. Can you imagine that? To get people to feel sorry for you, you tell people that you're dying of cancer. This is what he did, and everyone believed him. They believed he was dying of cancer. Karma is such a wonderful, wonderful thing. Because you know what he did die of at age 62? Cancer. He died of cancer. Yeah. But when he was much younger, like decades earlier, he lied that he was dying of cancer. And karma came around and bit his friggin' ass. And he did really die of cancer in the end. He also lied to my father when my father was dying of cancer. My father was down to like 108 pounds, a grown man. He was all skin and bone. You could pull, his neck you could pull out to here. The skin on his neck, I'm not kidding. See how I can't? You could pull out the skin on his neck to about here. And he was skin and bone. And my father loved Stephen. He even told me he loved Stephen as a son, because even though it was his nephew, his father's brother, he loved him as his own son, because he lived in the same house as he did, and he was so weak. He trusted Stephen, not me. He trusted Stephen as a man, like as his own son, surrogate son. He gave him money to pay his bills because my father was so weak. He was dying of cancer. He hadn't much longer to live. And Stephen took all the money that he paid, my father gave him to pay for the bills, and blew it and spent it gambling. He squandered all that money. So my father couldn't understand. One day, my father, like weeks before he died, he's sitting there saying, I'm getting all these shut-off notices. I don't understand. I gave Stephen the money to pay these bills because, my mind isn't, he's dying of cancer. He can't even get out of bed. And he couldn't understand why he was getting all these shut-off notices when Stephen he gave him all the money and all the bills so Stephen could take care of it. It's just like really blows my mind. Like in the other video, I mentioned that my lover Jim, who was my psychologist, lied about being married, even when I had proof in front of him, the engagement receipts. He still lied to my face. Why wouldn't he tell me he was married? I don't know. Was he still married when he died? Was he just separated? I don't know if he was still married when he died, or I knew he was separated. I knew they weren't living together. I knew that because I'd been through his whole house and there wasn't any female clothes or anything, that would indicate that another woman lived in his condo. But he still could have been legally married. Some people do not separate, I don't know, but why would he keep that from me? My best friend Linda, here's another example of a liar. My best friend Linda told me that she married Joseph's father, her son's father. She had a son, Joseph, who was the same age as my son, Austin. That's how we met. We met at the playground when we were sledding. The boys were sledding. Her son was sledding with my son, and Holly's son Michael was there too. That's how I met Holly, at the same playground. Isn't it ironic? I met my two best friends at the playground, which is like 5 minutes from my home. So, we were talking. Holly was talking to Linda, and then I started talking, and I became friends with her. I invited her over to my son's birthday party, and she told me she was divorced from Joseph's father, and she moved back in with her parents. Well, that's all she told me, and that's all I knew. I thought she was married once, divorced, and the father had nothing to do with Joseph at all. But then later on, I found out that she wasn't only married to Joseph's father. She was married to another man who she divorced too. And that other man gave her a son. They had a son together. And that son had terminal cancer and died at age 2. I had no idea. Like, she had this other life, another husband. She had another child who was fighting cancer and who died at, I think he died at 18 months or 2 years old, like that. And I was shocked. And I was friends with her for years. It wasn't like we just met or something, okay? I understand that you don't tell people things that you hardly know. You don't tell them everything, you develop a friendship, and then, over time you tell them things. But I had been friends with her for years, you know. It wasn't like we just knew each other. And like she never mentioned that she was married before Joseph's father. In fact, she lied. Eventually she confessed that the only reason she married Joseph's father was to get pregnant because she lost her first baby to cancer. And she was like a Middle Eastern, she was like from the Middle East, and she had very exotic looks. She looked like she was Egyptian. She had very exotic, beautiful, she was a beautiful woman. And the only way that her family would accept her, you know, they would never accept her having a baby out of wedlock. So she married this man, and as soon as she found out she was pregnant, she left him. But all these things, you know, you don't know about people that they hide. They're just lies, lies, lies. Why do people lie? They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know about them. They only want you to know. They want you to think things that aren't true about them. They want to keep up this facade. I know this is true of my psychologist, Jim. He wanted to keep up this facade that he was, you know, this religious, because he worked with priests. He worked with the clergy. He wrote a whole paper, a religious paper for the clergy, and they paid him like thousands of dollars to write this paper for priests. So he was going to go in and give this speech to priests. And here he is, you know, committing adultery with a married woman who's his patient, you know. If they ever knew that, they would have nothing to, they would disown him. They would have nothing to do with him. So I think people lie to keep up this charade, this facade, you know, like my mother wanted me to lie and not say I'm, you know, Portuguese. I'm 25% Portuguese, 25% English, and 50% Italian. And my father's family, my father's father, my grandfather, my paternal grandfather was born in Sicily. But don't say that. Don't say Sicily. I don't know. Maybe they'll think you're part of the mafia. Your family's mafia or something. I don't know. But, you know, I just really, I can't stomach when people lie and cover up about themselves. I don't like it. You see, I come on my channel and I tell you everything. Look at my old videos, all right? I told you I was a kleptomaniac. I told you I stole. I have a video of that. I told you I'm an alcoholic. I told you that I turned to alcohol when I went through all this re-trauma with these shrinks. That I turned alcoholic in my late 40s, very late in life. Usually alcoholics, you know you're an alcoholic pretty young in life. Maybe by the time you're in your 20s or something. But in your late 40s, 50, I turned into an alcoholic like practically at 50 years old. That's pretty late. Never had an alcohol problem in my life. Now I can't go one day without drinking 2 or 3 glasses of wine. I can't go one day. Not one day. I'm an alcoholic. I come on and I say I've committed adultery. You know, I tell you if I've had affairs. I write these in my books. You know, I don't come on here trying to be something that I'm not. I tell you, you know, exactly who I am. You know, I dress the way I dress when I'm outside on the street. You know, this is how I look. If you were to see me on the street, you would know me because this is exactly how I look, you know. What you see is what you get, you know. So I don't understand why people have to cover up all this shit. You know, I come on telling you that I had a schizophrenic father. I tell you about my mental illness, that I have borderline personality disorder. I talk in earnest about what that's like having borderline personality disorder. I have a whole playlist of videos talking nothing but video after video about having borderline personality disorder and how, you know, I've had a violent temper. I tell you about all these things, you know. So I don't understand when other people have to, you know, cover up all their lies, trying to be something they're not, or trying to hide something from their past. And it just really bothers me. I just think that, I think that society has kind of like groomed, conditioned people to lie. I know I was conditioned to lie by my parents, my mother especially, but my father too, you know. And I just think they were probably conditioned to lie by society, by saying certain things you wouldn't be accepted, you know. And just look at my best friend's husband. He was gay, and he lied throughout his whole marriage. He lied to his parents, he lied to her, he lied to his friends, he lied to everyone. He didn't come out of the closet until his late 40s, until his probably mid 40s, that he was gay, and told his wife, you know, I'm gay. And she didn't know. My best friend Holly didn't know her husband was gay. Through their whole marriage, they had 2 children. And she didn't know he was gay until he came out of the closet and, you know, and told her. Because society grooms you that you have to be, you have to fit in this box. You have to be this way, you know. Women have to like men. Men have to like women. You have to be of this nationality or this descent, or you can't be married multiple times, or you can't be this nationality or that, or you can't be, you know, you have to, you know, you have to fit yourself into this box, and everyone is like clones, like the Stepford Wives or something. Everyone is clones of one another, you know. Like, dare I say, I've said it before that I have attraction toward women. I'm not homophobic, okay? I'm not afraid to say that I can't be attracted to a woman. Do I want to act on that? No. But I'm not afraid to say that, you know, to be really honest, I am turned on by female breasts. I am really turned on by that. Like a man would be turned on by that. And like, I'm not afraid to admit that to you. I don't think that's a big deal, but people will be like, oh, you can't say that. You know, you're married, you're supposed to like men, you know, but so what, you know? So friggin' what, whoopee-doo, you know? I'm not going to be conditioned anymore by society, you know? I'm not. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to tell the truth. And I'm sick and fed up with people's lies. I'm sick that we're all groomed to be, you know, we all have to be alike. We all have to be clones of one another. I don't think so. We're all unique individuals with our own unique talents and abilities and qualities that makes us special. That's why we're special. That's why I'm me, and that's why you're you, because you have your own qualities, your own talents, your own uniqueness, your own vulnerabilities, your own heritage, your own background, you know. It's like my father was prejudiced too. My father didn't like Irish people for some reason. I don't know. Some of my best friends were Irish, not Italian. Yes, I had Italian best friends, but I also had Julia Darcy, best friend in high school and college, Cheryl O'Keefe. Those 2 gals were 100% Irish. But somehow my father didn't like that. Who knows? He was probably ingrained in his childhood from his family and society that the Italians and Irish don't mix. But what I'm trying to get at in this video is, look, just embrace yourself for who you are. Whatever your sexuality is, even if you don't have any sexuality, or if you're bi or gay or straight or lesbian, or however you identify, if you identify as a man, woman, whatever gender you identify with, whatever religion you are, whatever wherever you came from, you know, even if you have mental illness like I have mental illness, just embrace who you are. Please don't lie about it, all right? Don't try to cover it up. Don't try to disguise yourself. You are beautiful, unique, individual, creation from God, or whatever you believe. When I say God, I'm just using that as a general broad term. I'm not trying to throw religion into this. I'm just saying, you know, whatever the higher, whatever higher being or purpose or spirit or whatever, you know, you are a beautiful, living, breathing person. Don't ever be ashamed of yourself. Don't ever be ashamed of where you came from or who you are. All right. Till next time. Take care. Bye-bye.